So our last section in this unit is section 7.5, which is proportions of triangles. So we just have two little theorems here we're going to go over. So if we look at the first one, you're given these triangles. We've seen this type of triangle before, where there's a triangle inside a triangle. The only difference now is we can say that RS is parallel to XY. So if they are parallel, if they're not, you have to do the normal way to solve them. But if they are, your proportions are a little bit different. You're going to have XR go to QR, and then X or YS goes to QS. And you're going to see an example of what that looks like. So it's a little bit different, but again, the only difference is that we have these arrows which tell us that they're parallel. So that means that we'll use these proportions. And then our next one, we have the same sets of parallel lines. And we've seen them before where they're congruent, but now we've got parallel. And then from there, you'll be able to set up your proportions. So you'll have AB is to BC as WX is to XY. So we're just going to look at a few examples with those theorems. So in example one, make sure that you're copying down the work as I work, or you can wait till I'm done working and then you can pause it and copy down the work from there. So if we were looking at that first theorem, it says that our small side, we got parallel. So I know they're parallel because I have the arrows. So that means I can set my proportions up as follows. I can do my small side. So that's X is proportional to the other side right next to it. So X plus 1. And then that's going to equal this other small side, so 12, to the other small side. So if we remember, last time we were doing this problem, we had to add them, we had to do the 12 plus 18 to get the whole side thing. We don't have to break down the triangles when we know they're parallel, because we know that those two sides are going to be proportional. So now we're going to do our cross multiplying to solve. So 18 times X gives me 18X, and then 12 times X plus 1. Remember, I'm going to put it in parentheses because I want to remember to distribute. So I have 18X equals 12X plus 12. Subtract the 12X over, and I get 6X equals 12. And if I divide by 6, I get X equals 2. So the only new thing is just setting up that proportion a little bit different. You don't have to split up the big and small triangles. And then our last example here, we're going to have our parallel lines. So we can say that our proportions, so I'm going to do one at a time. I'm going to do this first one. So we're going to do this side. So 4 is to 8 as 5 is to X. So then we're going to cross multiply. So I get 4X equals 40. So X will equal 10. And then for this last example over here, now here's a little bit trickier one. So if I look, they're giving me this whole side here. So that means I'm going to want to use the whole side here. So I'm going to start with this side. I'm going to start with my 9 because that's kind of where my X is. So I can't start over here because I don't have anything up in the top right. So I'm going to start with 9. So I'm going to do 9 over, I'm going to do it over the whole. So 9 plus 4 gives me 13. So 9 over 13. Now what I did was I started with the bottom here. So that means I'm going to start with the bottom here. So I'm going to put X on the top. And then I'm going to use the whole length again, which is 11. And then from here, we're going to cross multiply. So I'm going to have 99 equals 13X, and then divided by 13. So we get X equals 99 over 13, which is not a pretty number, but remember, do not be afraid of fractions because we're using proportions.